Welcome back to MFO, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is a tip that might not apply to everybody, but boy, I tell you what, if you're a Humminbird user and if you need to transfer waypoints from one unit to another, you might want to pay attention because this is going to save you a lot of time and money. Stick around, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. I just spent about an hour and a half figuring this out, and I'm going to try and make this so that you don't have to do the same thing. I also spent $63 that I didn't need to spend, and I'll explain why I did that and how you can not do that as well. So guys, what I'm doing, last year's boat, I ran a Helix, and my buddy Bill has a Helix on his boat. So I had the waypoints saved because I was smart and learned to save my waypoints. So I saved them onto an SD card. Well, now I'm running the Apex, and the Apex doesn't run using SD cards. They use the microchips. This is now an SD adapter, and the microchip goes inside the SD adapter. Well, the SD card that I used to save my waypoints a year ago doesn't have one of those microchips. So now I'm in a position where I've got my waypoints saved, but I got to transfer this onto a microchip. So I said, hey, Bill, can I borrow your Helix to do that? So I went over, plugged it in. Let's go through how to do that because some of you may not know that process. So originally what I did is I took my SD card, put it in the slot. And when you do that on the Helix will ask you if you want to upload the nav data. And so I said yes. And it loaded all of those waypoints and tracks and everything onto this unit. Now what I wanted to do was to take my new SD card that has my microchip in it, and I want to export those. So I put this card in, go to my menu, go to nav, come down to waypoints, routes, and tracks, go to options. I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to export. So I'm exporting everything that's on this unit. I'm going to export it onto that chip. Yes, I want to save the tracks, the waypoints, and the routes, all of that onto the card. Hit yes, and the data was successfully exported. But here's the thing. What I was struggling with is I originally bought a card that was 128 gigabytes, thinking that the more the better. The reality is if you're going to transport anything onto an SD card or a microchip using Humminbird, it has to be between 16 and 32 gigabytes in order to work. I used 128, and every time I did that export, it said that the export failed. We couldn't figure out what we were doing wrong until I went and bought a 16, and then it worked immediately. So now I'm in a position where I have my 16 gigabyte SD adapter that has my little microchip on it. So now I can go to my Apex, plug this in, and all of my waypoints go on to all of those because, again, the Apex only uses the little microchips. So you have to transfer. So the two basic things that I'm recommending is, number one, if you're going to be using SD cards, get the SD cards that have the microchips in them. You're better off. And make sure that anytime you're using these for transferring data using a Humminbird, that you're doing between 16 and 32 gigabytes. I just looked at it like 128. I'm going to have plenty of space. I'm not worrying about having too much is not good. They will not let you use it. It won't let you export any of them. I never realized that. I had to go back out, spent 63 bucks on a more expensive card that I didn't need and could get it done for the 17 bucks that I spent on the 16 gigabytes. Guys, I hope this helps. Send me your comments. Maybe you guys have more experience than I do with this, but we got it done. We got the waypoints on the machines, and we're looking forward to getting out to Florida. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button. We'd appreciate it. And we will have more content coming out for you tomorrow on another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.